Welcome back, everyone. In a recent video, I suggested that Surah 65:4 may be the most immoral verse in the Quran. Last prophet suggested the most immoral verse could actually be Surah 4:24, which reads, "And also forbidden to you are married women, except what your right hands possess." And then the stereotypical Muslim responses ensued. How's it immoral? Some people oppose treating other people as sexual property. I just read 424, and it has nothing to do with treating others as sexual property. These lies are insane. Common misconception is right hands possess refers to slave girls. This is dumb, though. If Allah meant to say you can have intercourse with your slave girls, then Allah would have just said so, but He didn't. Stop superimposing your biased views on the Quran. So perhaps I made a mistake in thinking that when the Quran talks about owning women in a relationship that gives men sexual rights over them, that the Quran is talking about owning women in a relationship that gives men sexual rights over them. Fearful of making the mistake of reading what the Quran actually says, I consulted a thoroughly Muslim source based on the work of numerous Muslim scholars. The study Quran clearly says, thus the Quran forbids marrying women married to other men, save for slave or captive women, those whom your right hands possess. But remember, it's a common misconception that right hands possess refers to slave girls. But let's read some more. The study Quran gives various scholarly opinions about the background and specific meaning of this verse, which I've condensed for you. Keep in mind that it abbreviates the commentators' names. These abbreviations are easy enough to figure out, but I've given them to you below as well. First, the verse was revealed at the Battle of Hunain, indicating that Muslim men could have sexual relations with or marry captive women, as long as they waited 1 month to ensure they were not pregnant by their former husbands. 2. Some commentators indicate that if a man purchased a married slave woman, his purchase effectively divorced her from her husband, and he was allowed to have sexual relations with her. 3. Others say those whom your right hands possess refers exclusively to female war captives. 4. Exceeding the 4-wife limit in the Quran is prohibited unless they were slave women. 5. The verse prohibits illicit sexual relations except for women a man possessed the right to through either marriage or slavery. And finally, number 6, sexual relations with all such women, married, free, chaste Muslim people of the book, are forbidden save through proper marriage, the only exception being for slave or captive women who were neither Jewish nor Christian. Something that's striking about these interpretations is that there's a lot of discussion of slave and captive women in these Muslim sources, which, remember, is a dumb and biased interpretation. Time after time, we're told we're misinterpreting Muslim sources. Time and time again, our misinterpretations turn out to be correct. Why do so many Muslims refuse to acknowledge what is so obvious? Part of it comes down to the choice between cowardice or courage. As I responded, you really need to start acknowledging what your texts say. Stop being a coward. Let's guide Muslims through this scary but simple process. The Quran obviously says X, where X could be Surah 65:4, 424, etc. But X is obviously repugnant. Muslims don't want the Quran to be repugnant, so they simply deny it obviously says X. You could put Muhammad in there instead, and the result would be the same. And this is what we encounter over and over again, because the options are cowardly cognitive dissonance or apostasy. And that's one reason we see this same process happening over and over in our discussions with Muslims. The logic is simple and clear, but there are consequences. For many Muslims, these consequences range from family to economic to culture and beyond, and apostasy laws exist for a reason. But as we keep banging on the echo chamber of the Muslim world, cognitive dissonance becomes harder to sustain, and more Muslims are seeing their choices with increasing clarity. Cowardice or courage? The choice is ultimately up to you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.